YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Manu here, aka Mr. See It Before It Happens. And today, fellas, I bring to you yet another Club Series game. This is going to be between Ghost and Henry. Again, this is part of the $1 Million Tournament Series here. And this game is going to be for about, I think like around $10,000. And again, this is two of the best players in the world right here. We got Ghost, again, probably the most patient passer in Madden. Mr. I'm going to throw a flower out every single play. One of the best minds in the game, definitely. And then we got Henry. Again, I'm going to cover this in this game, but again, I think Henry is super underrated on offense. Again, he's not... People aren't naturally going to look at Henry and say, yeah, this guy is good on offense because, again, he's not the best decision maker. But I think he's a phenomenal offensive player on the fly. He's someone that can always kind of figure it out as the game goes on. And he's someone that's always going to progress throughout a game. And I feel like that's really rare. I feel like once you learn most people's plays, even the best offensive players in the world, they're going to regress. Henry's going to keep getting better as the game goes on. He's someone that, he's great at designing plays on the fly. And also he's, again, a phenomenal defensive player as well, and he's going to mix it up a lot on defense. And honestly, I think Henry was, he had the best strategy on defense, I feel like, for a bunch. Besides maybe the people that were just kind of running, variations of man. But I think the two best ways to play defense in clubs at this time was, again, running some sort of variation of man on a 3-5 wide because of how effective the one-steps were. Either that or match coverage. And that's what Henry did a lot in this game. Henry ran a lot of match coverages with, as you saw here, his D-line was kind of able to get there with the pass rush cams. Because match is going to be able to guard those corner routes, whereas, if you're adjusting out of Mike Will 3 or just a regular cover 2, like you even saw like Drini and Swaddle doing, again, two of the best defensive players, but it's going to be really hard to guard Z-spot from zone because, again, the outside quarters aren't going to really guard it. You really kind of have to triple team the Z-spot guy. You really need like a man up 20-yard cloud and so a deep half over the top of it just to defend that one route. But in match, the outside quarter would actually take away that corner route. So Henry had found kind of the best way to run match, and you're going to see it give Ghost a lot of trouble in this game. Here, first drive for Henry. Again, the biggest key when I watch Henry is as a great play here by him. Good decision is Henry going to throw the game away on offense? Is he going to keep himself in the game in this first half? Again, I think Henry, he's great. This is a really underlooked aspect of offense. He's great at, I feel like, consistently getting his guys open, even if someone has a defense for Henry. Again, Henry is someone that can play good offense regardless of if you can stop his best players or not. He's going to figure out plays on the fly to beat what someone's doing. The thing with Henry is and this is why other people wouldn't consider him, a great offensive player, is because, he's not the best decision maker on offense. And he is going to throw, his reads can be inconsistent. So that's going to be really huge in this game are the mistakes going to come back to bite Henry on offense? Again, I feel like he's really explosive on offense. Again, obviously, I think he's a phenomenal play call on offense. Are these mistakes going to come? And if they do come, can he overcome the mistakes on offense? As you see here, Henry's moving pretty quickly here on Ghost. He's calling good plays. He's getting people open besides on that play. And here on the second down, he goes with a quick snap again. That was a good, really good mix in from Ghost. This was something that not too many people did. That only really the NFL crew really does is Ghost and Drini would user rush. So even if you blocked your running back, they would send six and then send their user. So they would be able to come free on the blocked running back. And I personally don't like doing that because, again, I don't, I just feel like it's going to be too easy to give up a big play. But honestly, it really is an effective strategy. And, Ghost and Junior will both were able to sneak it in on people again. If you hit him with that use rush a couple times, a lot of times you can kind of catch someone off guard. And that's what you saw there for Ghost. Back on offense for Ghost, and again, I'm kind of curious to see how Ghost kind of adjusts on the fly in this game. Again, because Henry had probably, besides the man, was probably had the best strategy on defense for approaching bunch. And with the way Ghost's chems were set up, Ghost had a lot of route beating abilities or chems on his receivers to get people open versus man coverage. But the thing is, Henry really didn't run much man coverage. He ran a lot of match, so again, I feel like this was catching Ghost off guard to start this game. And this another huge part of the game right here is if you run that 4-6 playbook on defense, people are not gonna, or in the four, or I should say in the 4-6 playbook, you're not gonna have the big down 1-for-6, and versus the big down 1-for-6, it can be really difficult to pass. So you're gonna see a lot of people kind of audible down on it with the 2-1-2 on these 3rd and 7s. The big down really just makes it difficult. To convert in those situations. Whereas if Henry was in the 4-6 playbook, again, Ghost probably wouldn't have audible down. He would have had an extra play passing there, and that's really what led to the stop there. And honestly, pretty unfortunate animation there for Ghost as well. Oh, and again, there it is. I feel like again, I don't run bunch, but I'm pretty sure you can throw that the Z spot corner out early. Again, Henry has to recognize the blitz quicker and kind of, get that off to the corner route right away. I'm pretty sure you can throw that corner route versus the blitz right off the break, especially with what Henry did. Henry motioned out the out route to kind of push the flat towards the sideline. So Henry probably could have quick thrown that corner out. Again, he's got to recognize that quicker and get that ball off. Again, that's really the biggest thing for Henry is I think he's a phenomenal play caller. And in terms of like people I've played that I feel like that can just consistently get people open is Henry. Again, the thing is going to come down to for Henry is he making the right decisions on offense. Again, this was phenomenal pocket here by Ghost. This really good patience. Again, Ghost really didn't have anyone for the majority of that play, but Ghost really just kind of made a play here on offense. Got outside the pocket, stayed patient, and delivered a beam. And this is one thing that's also annoying to play about bunch, and it's been like this for a while now. And I remember Ghost was kind of the king of this. Like a few years back, Ghost would always annoy people with just flipping his bunch back and forth a million times to mess up the defender's adjustments. And that's where you kind of see Ghost flipping here too. And also you get better play setups as well when you're flipping the bunch. Again here, another big 3rd and 8 here for Ghost. Again, you saw last time he audible down. Again, the big dime can get that 4-man pressure. Or if someone is able to ID it correctly, you can still get pressure sending 6 on it. So again, a lot of people are gonna um, look to kind of run the ball versus, and that's what we saw Ghost do here. And the thing about the 2-1-2 is, or when you run the big dime versus the 2-1-2, it gets like weak box, so that's going to make defenders run slower on defense. So that's where you're going to see players try to audible down versus it. But in this tournament, a lot of people actually had good audible down defense, and this was a phenomenal play here by Henry. Again, Henry is one of the best defensive players in the world. Again, this kid has a great lurk. He makes great adjustments on both sides of the ball, and that's a huge play here from Henry. And one thing about Ghost is a lot of times, again, Ghost is probably the most patient passer in all of Madden. But again, I do feel like sometimes he does lock into those underneath reads and kind of just assumes kind of people will run back and leave open the underneath pass, and you'll just kind of lock in on the underneath pass. You saw it there. But honestly, it was also pretty hard to get to that quick throw table. But I feel like Henry was kind of used to playing versus it. Henry had the timing down on it, and he was able to get Ghost there. Again, thing about Ghost isn't. I wouldn't say Ghost is too good on defense, but Ghost is usually going to have a good strategy in place on defense. Here in this game, though, Ghost will play pretty aggressive on defense. Ghost does like to blitz a lot. He will play pretty well with the coverage adjustments at times. You know, he'll hook zone his safeties when he blitzes, stuff like that. And Henry is going to catch on to this later in the game. You know, Ghost blitzed a lot that game, and again, this was just a bad decision here from Henry. I think he should have motioned out the out route again to kind of clear more space to get that corner route open, so he could throw the corner out quickly versus the blitz. And again, really risky pass there from Henry. Again, another thing about Henry's going to freestyle on offense. Again, if Henry sees a defense, when Henry kind of catches on to what you're doing on defense, again, he is going to be able to kind of call plays on the fly to beat what you're doing. And I think that's what makes him a super duper underrated offensive player. And I think, again, he does that better than almost anybody that I've played versus. But again, it's really just going to come down to, you know, is he making those right decisions on offense? Again, here, I'm curious to see what Henry does down in the red zone here. Again, this is the biggest, when you're playing at a high level, the red zone is one of the biggest difference makers in the game. And again, Henry just, bad decision. Again, I think Henry was just trying to get down with his quarterback there and just wasn't able to. Henry was kind of in the dilemma is, you know, he doesn't want to run out of bounds to stop the clock. So I believe Henry was trying to slide in bounds. He just wasn't able to do it in time. Again, Henry's been moving the ball on offense. Again, it just comes down to these mistakes. I mean, he has people there. He has people open. He's moving the ball. It's just the mistakes coming back to bite him. Again, good decision here by Ghost not to throw that arrow out. Again, it looked like it was open, but I think Henry could have probably clicked onto a defender and picked it. Again, honestly, though, when you're watching... biggest difference between Ghost and Henry this game is that was a phenomenal lurk by Henry. Again, there's a great defense there by Henry. Ghost was kind of expecting that crossing route to get underneath the inside third. It just didn't there. Again, I think that crosser runs a little bit too deep, and the inside third was able to play it. Again, that was a good patient read there by Ghost, but I think that crossing route just runs a little too deep. Again, here on offense for Henry. I mean, Henry's really has been moving the ball. It's just like, is he going to make the mistake? And I don't mind this here from Henry. Clock's running down, 50 seconds left. It's going to be pretty tough to get a touchdown in this position, so just kind of lock in your field goal. Don't get sacked. Take your three because Ghost really hasn't put together, you know, a really good drive yet on offense. So, and Henry is a great defensive player. Time's running down, so I don't mind Henry kind of just playing for the three here. And honestly, I'm not sure how far field goal kickers could kick on this mode at this point of the year, but I wouldn't have even mind of running there from Henry just to kind of guarantee that he would be able to kick the three. Because if Henry had got sacked there, he potentially could have been out of field goal range. Uh, but I think the reason Henry decided to pass was just so he could get rid of Ghost's last. He felt like he could pick up the first down. He wanted to get rid of Ghost's last time out. He didn't want to give. Cut out a little bit of that last part. Again, right out of half here for Henry. Again, you're gonna see Henry again. Henry is moving the ball fine in this game. It's just the mistakes are coming back to bite him. Again, another big play there by Henry. And I will say, another thing about Henry is he's a notorious slow starter, but what makes Henry a phenomenal Madden player to me is he's really that one player that I feel like I play versus that's like, this guy is guaranteed to get better as the games go on. He makes great adjustments on both sides of the ball. He is going to progress through these games, so I think Henry has a big edge here, he's only up by 6 here, but again, I feel like for Henry, he loves to be in that position. Really, for Henry, he just can't beat himself up in that first half, does not get too down the game, because he does start games off really, really slow, but he does pick up the pace as the games go on usually. And the thing is, and really his play calling picks up, but again, it's just going to come down to the decisions here. Again, great play here by Henry, and again, this is why I love to watch Henry play, and Henry sees that Ghost. You're gonna see it in a future play, but Henry kind of sees that Ghost is getting really aggressive with his free safety. Ghost is doing that to kind of stop the crossing routes and the tight end post, and Henry is going to catch onto that, and he's going to design a play on the fly later this drive to kind of beat what Ghost is doing. Again, Henry is not a robotic. He's the complete opposite of a robotic player. Henry is a really smart in-game player. He knows what's going on, and he can always problem solve on the fly in these games. Again, this is a play you're going to see it here from Henry. Again, Henry recognized on that last passing play that Ghost is getting aggressive with the safety. He has it. He cooked up a perfect play on the fly. He just didn't. Man, he just made the wrong decision there. Again, in terms of the play calling, Henry was on point. Again, Henry has Ghost figured out at this point of the game. Again, he just made a bad decision. He just didn't get that ball out quick enough. I think what Henry was looking at there was the corner route. But again, you're never going to see... I never really see, that scissors concept that people do with the B skinny post, the corner route and the lone side drag. If you're watching that at home, you probably don't understand why Henry called that play. But Henry called that play because Ghost has been getting really aggressive with this free safety, and that deep portion of the field was open. And again, Henry is going to design those plays on the fly to beat what someone is specifically doing during the game, and I think that's what makes him a phenomenal player. But he just, again, he just doesn't make good. He really just does not make good decisions. Like if he puts great plays together, it's just really, is he going to make the right decision? Back here on offense for Ghost, and Ghost really has to kind of figure out what Henry is doing here on defense. Ghost himself too is a pretty good player on the fly. He's not a stubborn offensive player. He is gonna, if Ghost kind of realizes that, he's a little bit bagged on offense. I wouldn't say he's great at this, but I think he's better. He does this better than most offensive players. Where Ghost is gonna freestyle a little bit on offense and try to figure it out. And you kind of see it right here too, because again, Henry has been giving him trouble with this match coverage. So that last play Ghost call was a play he probably doesn't use too often. He's just using it versus Henry because that motion out pulse will beat match, and the option route will beat match as well. Again, Ghost is going to come back to this flood play. Honestly, Ghost really hasn't had this play much of the game. Right there worked out. Henry got blitzed. Ghost was able to hit the quick flat. And you're going to see Ghost has this ability on his tight end, and that's really to get separation versus man. But again, it just didn't play a factor in this game because of the way Henry played defense. And I feel like Henry was pretty ahead of the curve on defense in this tournament, and it really kind of threw Ghost off in this game. And Ghost really is going to have to kind of adjust on the fly a little bit as his game progresses and try to kind of figure out this defense, because Ghost has had trouble moving the ball this game. Again, 2nd and 8, down at the 16. Again, if you're Ghost, I mean, you got to be careful here. Again, it's really, really tough down in the red zone. It's really tough down here in the red zone to fit in the right passes. Again, the windows are just so condensed down here. So you really got to be careful. And I'm really surprised that wheel route. Again, what Ghost did, he put an out route on the outside to kind of pull the flat towards the outside. So I'm surprised that wheel route wasn't more open than that. I don't know how Henry's guy played like that. Maybe it was a matching seam flat. That's the only thing I could think of. But again, really tough situation down there in the red zone, and Henry was kind of able to hold him. Again, this 3rd and 18, you're most likely not going to pick this up. So again, if you're Ghost, you really should just really be looking to take your 3. And again, really, really fortunate right there for Ghost. Again, played really risky there. Took a big hit that probably should have been a fumble there. Fortunately for Ghost, he held onto the ball. And Ghost plays really, really... Ghost's game management is super duper aggressive. With the mistakes Henry's been making on offense, I really felt like Ghost should have just kicked 3 here. But maybe kind of Ghost felt like too that he was playing good offense, but he was just making mistakes. I don't know, but again, great red zone defense here by Henry. He was kind of able to hold him. And again, Henry, I think, was starting to kind of pick up onto that. Ghost was starting to get kind of repetitive on offense. He kept motioning out that pulse route / crosser. And, Henry kind of caught on to that and played phenomenal defense. Again, Henry's going to go right back to this play. Henry has Ghost figured out this game. Again, that was a fortunate play there by Henry. I'm really not sure what that free safety was in myself. It had to have been some sort of matching quarter. Again, if you're Ghost, you got to be pretty upset here. That easily could have been another pick here for Henry. I like the play call, but again, iffy decision. But it was really tough. It was tough to tell what that free safety was in. But if you're Henry, you're really fortunate there that was not yet another pick. And again, on the next play, personally, I don't run bunch, but I think Henry just threw this. I think he waited too long on that little curl route. Again, if you throw those, you gotta throw them a little bit earlier than that. As soon as they turn around, and you got to click on a nag it. Again, Henry really, I feel like Henry really just kind of gave this game away to Ghost. Again, that was just another, late decision there by Henry. That's really all it was, and really. gave Ghost the momentum back because Ghost has really been struggling on offense this game. Henry really kept him in this game with the mistakes that he was consistently making on offense. Again, that was a great decision there by Henry. Again, Ghost will play really aggressive on defense with the blitzes and his coverage adjustments. So Henry really just has to make the right decisions. And I'm curious to see if Henry will kind of go back to that skinny post, because Ghost is still playing pretty aggressive with that free safety or that safety on the lone side bunch receiver. So, and I'm sure Henry's the type of player who's always going to pick up onto that stuff. He's always going to figure that stuff out. Again, he just has to make the right reads. Again, right here in this 1st and 10, I would have liked to seen Henry motion out that out route. It worked out for him here, but the reason I would have liked to seen Henry motion out that out route is Ghost has been blitzing him like a lot this game. He's been blitzing 6 a lot. Ghost has mainly been blitzing him on the 1st down though, but again, if Henry motions out that out route, that's going to push that flat zone towards the sideline more, and it's going to open up a quick throw option for that corner route in the slot. And here, Henry really just needs to take some time with him, run the ball, take Ghost's timeouts. Again, he really should try not to get the first. I would try not to get the 1st down right away. Maybe another short dot. And honestly, this was just an insane play by Ghost. That I always joke around. I know a lot of people say, I mean, Ghost just does not have a really good user for a high level player. Ghost's user is pretty bad, but I will say, man, Ghost makes more plays on his D-line than he does on his actual user. Like, Ghost might have the worst user on his actual user out of the high-level players, but when Ghost gets clicked on the wrong person, Ghost has the best user in the entire world. That was an absolutely insane play by Ghost. Again, from watching Ghost over the years, he's always able to click on and make these plays. I remember versus Figgy. I think he got Figgy twice on a click-on pick. And Clubs a couple years ago. Again, if you're Henry, you're not even like, you're like, man, how does he make that play on the D-line? So, again, if you went back and watched, Ghost's movement there with the D-line, again, that was just an insane play. Pretty surprised he, animated on that, but, again, crazy play there by Ghost. That was insane. And, again, if you're Ghost, like, Ghost is probably feeling like, he hasn't really played good offense this game, but, he kind of found his way out of this game, honestly. Henry was really just making mistakes, and then Ghost had that phenomenal user when he was stuck on the D-line. And if you're Ghost here, you cannot make a mistake. Henry has not proven that he can drive the length of the field without making a mistake this game. You have to keep the ball in bounds here, and again, if you're Ghost, you're probably fine with 3, but I know when Ghost is a really aggressive player. Ghost wants the 7 here. Ghost wants to go for the kill. And honestly, I don't mind that if you're Ghost. Even though you've been playing a pretty bad offensive game overall, you're still more of a offensive-oriented player. So he wants to close out this game here on offense. And again, great defense here by Henry. Good blitz mix-in. And, if you're Henry, though, like, you really you shouldn't panic too much, because you have proven that, you can move up and down the field. It's just, you got to make the right decisions. And right back on offense for Henry. Again, you're going to see Henry go to the bunch tight end. I thought that was interesting because I thought he was doing pretty good in bunch, but it was really just some mistakes. You see that 14 for 21, 181. I mean, that's not phenomenal, but again, for how this game played, Man 21 clubs, that really wasn't bad at all. And I feel like he was calling good plays. It was really just the mistakes holding him back. But again, the thing about Henry, Henry's gonna freestyle on offense. He's gonna figure out plays on the fly to beat. Uh, he's gonna figure out these plays on the fly to beat what someone's specifically doing on defense to him. Again, he doesn't follow a predetermined set of plays. Again, Henry will figure it out, but again, Henry's gonna go right back to the bunch tight end, and Ghost gonna call a timeout. He didn't like what he saw, and again, I don't mind that timeout there from Ghost, because he probably wasn't expecting Henry to audible to the bunch tight end. Ghost might need an extra second to think about what he wants to do versus more a bunch tight end oriented offense. And again, Ghost gets clicked on. Ghost has this really bad tendency at just getting clicked onto the wrong people in the wrong moments. Like I feel like Ghost might just set up plays slowly, but Ghost is definitely someone that gets clicked on to the wrong people more than anybody I know. And again, he got clicked onto the wrong person there in a huge spot in the game, and really that was the only option Henry had on the field there. If Henry, that was the only thing Ghost had to use her. If he just used it, that nobody else would have got open. Again, huge mistake by Ghost to get stuck there. And if you're Henry probably realizes that Ghost is playing more conservative on this final drive. Ghost is going to a lot of man-to-man coverage, and Henry is going to catch on to that. He is going to call a good play for it. And again here, I love this play call here from Henry. He's expecting Ghost to play aggressive with his free safety. It didn't work out here, but I see the thought process here from Henry. He was 1,000% expecting that free safety to be in a hook zone. Ghost, majority of this game on these first downs, he blitzed, put his free safety in some sort of hook zone. So Henry has that figured out. Again, that was a good mix-up there by Ghost. He didn't do that again. Here in this 3rd and 2 now, again, this is the thing about Henry. He's going to freestyle throughout the game. He's going to do some things. He's going to call plays that he probably hasn't called before in other games. But, again, if he sees something he likes, again, he is going to cook something different up. And, again, here he goes again here. Ghost has probably never seen this formation. Or, not that he's never seen gun spread, but this is the first time Henry went to this formation all game. Again, just a great play call there by Henry. And if you're Ghost, Henry's been killing you with these corner routes this game. But, honestly, too, it's just like, this is the first time in spread. Ghost probably had no clue what Ghost was or what Henry was going to call in that situation, considering that was the first time Henry has gone to that formation all game. And that's what I mean about Henry. Henry is going to progress throughout the play. It doesn't matter if you feel like you know his best plays. Again, he's going to keep cooking up more plays on the fly depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're Ghost, though, again, Ghost is a pretty methodical player on offense. Again, this is a really tough spot. And honestly, the only offensive player in this situation that's probably happy is Joe Rice, because Joe Rice, he's going to run around for 10 seconds. Someone's going to get playmakered up. Probably make a catch in double coverage, something like that. But let's see. We're going to have to probably going to have to see Ghost's playmaking abilities here. There's almost a 0% chance that he's able to make a play here. It's too tough. Henry just has to guard both. Really, all Henry has to do is guard both sidelines, and this game is over. And again, this is insane. Henry came down, and man, that was just phenomenal patience by Ghost. That was, he got outside the pocket. Henry came down in the out route. Again, in hindsight, it's easy to say Henry should have, stayed on it, but Henry really should have had that guy manned up from the start, because that's really the only guy that can get to the sidelines is him and that tight end. So I feel like both of those guys should have been manned up with like a 20-yard soft squat. Really in those situations, you gotta be careful for those bounce back routes, and the tight end and the slot were really the only receivers that could really like bounce back and get to the sidelines probably. So yeah, just a bad defense there by Henry, and great patience there by Ghost. Way to make a play by Ghost. I was not expecting that from Ghost. Ghost is usually not much of a playmaker on offense. He puts together good plays and makes good reads, but usually that's not his specialty. And Ghost was able to, stay patient there and put together and just made a great play on the fly. And again, back in overtime here. Again, Ghost is going to stick with the aggressive approach, the blitz six, send his user, and you see the adjustment that Ghost kind of made on defense is since Henry has kind of mixed in those skinny posts from the B receiver, Henry, you see that Ghost is now putting his free safety in a deep half instead to prevent Henry from bombing him over the top of that skinny post. Again, Henry found a great play on the fly to beat Ghost's defense, but Ghost is starting to recognize that, and he's not going to give up that big play to Henry when he blitzes six. Again, big down here for Henry. Again, he kind of got caught up by the two-man rush. Ghost is starting to get a little bit more conservative on defense. Rush two, run a little bit more double maple. So curious to see what Henry has for that. And, great play here by Henry. That was great by Henry to kind of motion out the streak there. That's what kind of pulled out that flat zone, and he was able to quick throw that corner out. And that's what Henry should have done earlier in the game. He had that corner out open with the quick throw. Again, he just made a really late read on it, and it ended up getting picked. And you see Ghost is still sticking with this really aggressive approach here on defense. Again, he's just kind of blitzing everybody. And again, another slight adjustment Henry made on offense is he's starting to put the tight end crosser back on the field because Ghost is starting to realize that, okay, Henry has the skinny post in his arsenal. So now Henry sees that Ghost is putting the deep half. He knows the tight end crosser will get underneath the deep half. So that's where you see Henry go back to the deep half there. And honestly, Ghost shedded the shit out of him on that last play. And Henry probably thinks he has a touchdown here. And again, it kind of looked like it, but again, it's hard for me to say because I don't really throw that route. I'm not really familiar with how that kind of play works. To me, it kind of looked open. I kind of see what he saw, but I believe Ghost has said in the podcast or the broadcast that was a deep half, and that's more often than not is just not going to get open on the deep half. And again, Henry was moving the ball fine. He was having people open. Again, it just came down to, he just made another mistake here on offense. And again, Ghost is going to snap this play super duper late. I actually really like this play call from Ghost because Ghost was really anticipating Henry to get really aggressive there. So he had a deeper option on the field. So that was a really good play call there by Ghost, but that was pretty risky too because the play action blocking is pretty bad sometimes. So good chance he could have got sacked in that. And this is, I believe this is the player. Oh no, this was not the play. So I'm curious as to why Ghost audible down on that first down, and came back up. I think, I'm pretty sure Ghost is doing that really to mess up the adjustments. That's something that Ghost likes to do. He likes to audible around. He likes to flip. Then go back to bunch and mess up your adjustments. And I think what happens here, Henry hits him with a run commit. He's expecting the run, and then Ghost goes back to the passing formation. Henry is going to look to probably pass commit again. But what happened is when you run commit, the game doesn't let you pass commit again, and this ended up being that was insane. That was so. Yeah, Ghost is hilarious, but no, so Ghost had audible down. He caught him in a run commit. Henry tried a pass commit, but the pass commit doesn't override the run commit once you already run commit. This happened to me a few times this year, and Henry, honestly, you have timeouts there in OT. I mean, the timeouts in OT aren't too important. He really should have took a timeout there, and that ended up losing him the game. Again, Ghost really was struggling on offense that game, but that was a savvy veteran play right there by Ghost to kind of catch Henry in the run commit there to go back up. I haven't really seen too many people do that. That was a great play there by Ghost. Yeah, really the biggest takeaways from this game was really just, again, Henry was moving the ball fine like every drive on offense. Again, he was just making bad mistakes on offense. And second was really the next biggest play was definitely the insane play that Ghost had when he got stuck in this D-line and he lurked Henry and he animated on that. So those were really the two biggest plays in the game. And then obviously that last play where Ghost had caught Henry in the run commit when he had audible down. Well, anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Well, anyways, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. In the comment section below, I'll try to respond to all you guys. But, let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see next. What other content options are available out there. But anyways, guys, I'm out. Peace.